folks, Sports Club, BGWMC Sports Club. Mike Lloyd, Chairman, and Perry Deakin, who many of you may not met before, the Chief Exec. Thanks everybody for coming out on such a fantastic sunny day. And there's lots of other things we could have all been doing.
When is beach volleyball?
Yeah, beach volleyball. It's very interesting, as you may have noticed, that there's actually a Stoke event taking place next door, and I think it's the only time this season where the Vale are going to have a bit of crowd in Stoke. Well, the last time we were here, of course, was prior to the EGM, which didn't end as some of us would have wanted, but we are where we are. But what we need to do is to make sure that we're going somewhere, and that we're going somewhere upwards rather than downwards. And the club at the moment is in a very sensitive situation. We've got the opportunity to move forward, and I think we're all hoping that somehow we can actually all get united back to taking the club forward and moving on. What I'm really looking forward to today is to hear everybody's views and also hear the response from Perry and from Mike. The meeting's been called, the way it came about being called is that because the supporters club was sponsoring Mark Simmons' application to become a director. We attended a meeting a few weeks ago, and we asked the board if they would be willing to come and talk to the fans. It's pleasing that the members of the board and the chief executive, who are actually going to be here after Christmas, are actually here to answer some questions. It's disappointing that others have not turned up. What we really want to do is say the objective of the meeting is to remove the mistrust that surrounds the club in some ways at the moment, and create a vehicle to harmonise the relationship between the fans and the club, and creating a way forward plan that says, yeah, okay, in future we'll interact and we'll move forward together. And I think it's very fair to say that Mike here has done his very best to interact since taking over the role that he has. And even previously to that, as you all know, he was the one director who turned up prior to the AGM meeting. I think we do need to clarify the air a little bit in relation to Mo Chowdhury, Mark Sims, etc. Mark is actually on holiday at the moment, otherwise he would have been here. Mo declined an invite to come because he felt that he could have flagged the issue, and he just wants the club to move forward. But he did make a statement which he has published, but I think I'll just read it out again if that's okay for those who haven't heard it. In the aftermath of the EGM, virtual room, I have continued to monitor events at Port Vale Football Club, although in less vocal and public terms. The EGM was of course a farce. Over 900 shareholders voted for change, yet the minority of shareholders joined forces to block the will of the majority. The difference in outcome rested in the actions of Broxap and their last-minute change of heart in terms of voting. The decision Broxap had subsequently come to regret with hindsight, given Mr. Lee's recent press statement and further endorsement of my original bid, albeit too late in the day. The EGM reinforced my long-held belief that any investor looking to effectively assume control of Port Vale Football Club with substantial investment is facing an almost impossible task, given the self-serving constitution, 24.9%, etc., and the minority blocking vote of a few more significant shareholders and board members, Collins and Old, who between them had secured over 24.9% of the issued shares. Hence the bitter irony of the complaint by the board that the revised bid of myself and Mark Sims of 24.9% each should be rejected as we were apparently operating as country parties. I have sadly come to the conclusion, given the actions of the few voted shareholders who hold this club hostage to their fortunes with their collective actions, that it is impossible for someone like myself to come in and make significant investment in return for a controlling stake in the club. Such is the commercial reality of the business of football, no one is going to invest such a sum for anything less than a controlling stake. I would like to therefore thank the many fans and shareholders who have publicly and privately supported and encouraged me to date. There is, however, nothing more I can do. In my opinion, the business of Port Vale Football Club no longer represents a viable investment without a radical overhaul. The board will, of course, assert to the contrary, as is their prerogative, and in that sense, they are as confident as they would have me believe, and good luck to them. For my part, I am formally withdrawing my interest, unless there is a complete change in the present board. And for clarity, that classes Mike Lloyd, Bill Graff, Glenn Oliver, Nicky Adams, and the Chief Exec President of the board. And an opportunity to restructure the council debt. If such change and opportunity were to arise, then and only then would I reignite my interest and re-engage in discussion. My objective throughout my bid process, despite the conspiracy theories and negative PR campaign against me, was one of sensible commercial investment to ensure as much as the investment went into the club to benefit the club as opposed to paying off majority shareholders in debt. I sought to achieve a solid financial foundation upon which to project Port Vale Football Club towards the 5-year target of Championship football, based at all times upon a viable business plan. My desire was one of a legacy, of which some have sadly mocked and ridiculed. I nevertheless remain committed to my community, and my takeover of Esporta is very much in keeping with such commitment. I remain fascinated and excited by opportunities in the sport and leisure industry, and my track record to date speaks for itself. I wish all Port Vale Football Club shareholders and supporters well, and the best of luck moving forward. Kind regards, Mo Shelby. And just to tie up a shorter statement from Mark Sims, who is on holiday, as I say, at the moment, and we can move forward with general discussion. From Mark, I welcome with some degree of caution the announcement from Port Vale Football Club that Glenn Oliver is to stand down at the AGM. I still urge a healthy degree of scepticism, as we have seen before. However, it is work in progress. I am, however, perplexed that I am initially castigated by the board for urging Bill Pratt and Glenn Oliver to stand down before I consider accepting a seat on the board, yet less than a week later the board acting precisely the way I requested in the first place. It is bizarre and again clearly demonstrates the manoeuvring taking place by certain individuals for their own agenda and nothing else. Unfortunately, Port Vale's immediate future is not their main priority. It seems clear to me that once both Mo and I made our respective positions clear, that both Mr. Oliver and Mr. Pratt felt it was a job done on our part. I remain perplexed as to why Bill Pratt and Glenn Oliver cannot step aside now, as the investment is not conditional, or the new investment is not conditional upon their continuing participation in the discussions or presence thereafter. If it is a case, as I suspect, of them both awaiting payment in consideration for their respective shareholdings, then neither needs to be a board member to facilitate such an arrangement. Why they wish to delay their respective resignations until December and hold back the unity of our club is beyond me, but clearly shows that their reasons are not aligned with the best interests of the club. I will, however, be watching with great interest over the next few weeks to see how the investment they have set up matches the levels that they so willingly cast aside from local individuals. Sorry, boys, that's the briefing over. So, the the move now is to Mike to actually outline in his own speech some points as he sees the way of the club moving forward, and then the question and answer in relation to what Mike has to say. And I would ask that wherever possible, we keep the actual questions relating to where we move the club forward. Thank you.
Hi everybody, and thank you for coming this afternoon and giving up your Sunday lunch or having a late Sunday lunch. There's a few items there that David asked me to speak about, and I'll try to take the ones in the order we've given me. And most of these things will just for clarity so you know exactly what the position is. Now, firstly, with regard to shareholding the club, I think everyone knows actually what these figures are, but just to repeat them, Bill has £65,000 worth of shares. I have £62,500 worth of shares. Glenn has about £48,000 worth of shares. And Mickey doesn't have any shares, as you know, he's on family property. So that's the current position of shareholding. Now, with regards to Bill's resignation from the board, this has been agreed by the board when new investments have been placed, and Glenn has confirmed that he will not stand for re-election at the AGM. We actually have a letter from Bill confirming that that's the exact position, and the board has accepted Glenn's position that he will not stand for re-election. So those two things are written in stone, despite what Thomas Mark has made about it. I've had lots of queries on two issues really, and it is those particular things about the actual stepping down. The board have to be quorate and need to add a minimum of 2 directors and perhaps 3 to the board before we can get any movement. As you know, if we're not quorate and someone stands down, then we have a major problem, so we can't operate. So directors have to be put in place before either of those two step down, and that will be done within that time frame by the time the AGM is on. Now the situation with regards to Nigel, I've been asked about. He's indicated that he will not be standing for the board. I've seen Nigel's in here today. Yeah, sorry, Nigel Meekin, my apologies. And I think that he said no, he would not be standing. I think that was in the statement you did last Friday. With regards to Mark, the list of conditions that he laid down for joining the board could not be agreed at the time by the board. And again, he has decided, as just read out, that he's not going to join. However, I have agreed to meet with Mark. I've been asked if I would meet with Mark when he returns from holiday and I'm back from the trip in early mid-September, and so we're going to do that. We're going to meet and we're going to talk. So that's the situation with regards to directors, shareholders, etc. Now, I made a statement yesterday with regards to costs of the EGM and the costs of policing and stewarding processes. These figures have come out to over £100,000. They are as a direct result of stewarding, policing and legal fees. To try and give you an approximate breakdown, the legal fees attached to the EGM and the situation before and after the EGM have cost about £60,000. An incredible thing. I think we agree that corporate solicitors can earn £250, £300 an hour quite easily. So it doesn't take many hours to get you up to £60,000. The EGM itself costs about £12,000 to stage, to hold, letters, stacking and everything else that went with it. And then we have additional policing costs, which were attached to the demonstrations and marches, etc., and additional stewarding costs. And you have to remember that the police tell us what staffing levels we have to have, which is not the club asking for it. And the police have notification of any sort of demonstration. They will tell us how many staff are going to be on duty. This is very, very costly. They also talk to our safety officers about stewarding, and it is much cheaper